Okay, welcome everybody to the Thursday evening ASEA Business Overview webinar. My name is Paul Taira, and I'm a former Marine Corps veteran, or actually, like we never say ex-Marine, but I am a Marine Corps veteran and a former Chief Information Officer in the IT space. But for the past 13 years, however, I've been in this incredible industry of referral marketing, or person-to-person marketing, high-touch marketing, or network marketing, whatever you want to refer to it as. And I like to first start out by sharing with everyone why I'm here. You know, I'm here because I was hungry for a way out of corporate America, basically. I was hungry to not just increase the amount of income that I was earning, but to be able to have the freedom to do the things that I enjoyed again. See, in order to get where I was at, I pretty much sacrificed doing a lot of the things that I enjoyed, like golf, swimming in the ocean, various things like that. Those are things that I personally enjoy. I don't know if that's what you would find enjoyable. But the problem was that I didn't see the ability to ever let up. I mean, especially my industry of information technology, because things move at light speed. For those of you who are on your iPhone 5 or whatever a current version of a software you're on, version 15 of some software package that was invented just a couple of years ago. You know, it just seems like everything was constantly being obsolete. And while I love technology, I didn't really want it to own me. And I don't know, does anyone out there also feel like your life is dictated by what you currently do at your job or even your business? Do you own your business, or does your business own you? Does anyone feel like they're trapped and are running like a hamster on a wheel that doesn't have an end? And if you're in a position similar to where I was, well, I'd really encourage you to pay attention to what I'm about to share with you tonight, because it has the potential to change your life, not only by providing you with financial and time freedom, but by providing a way for you to own your life. And this is stuff they didn't teach me in high school or college, and it's stuff that they really should. But being able to create passive, leveraged residual income truly has changed my life in so many different ways, and the quality and being able to do the things that I enjoy when I want to do them. And again, I'm excited to be able to pay this forward and help share this incredible business of ASEA with you. Okay, my contact information is on screen. So again, if you don't get the survey we're going to shoot out afterwards, please send me an email, paul@teamreactive.com. Again, you'll have it in your email inboxes the latest by tomorrow morning. So if it doesn't show up, please let me know, and I got to do some research and find out why it didn't work this week. Okay. Let's talk about here what you're going to discover in this presentation. You're going to discover some life-changing information on some of the truths about our health and today's hidden pandemic, and what may become known as the greatest transformational technology of our generation, which is a true once-in-a-lifetime business opportunity that can generate you an unlimited residual income stream for you and your future generations to come, because this business is willable and transferable to future generations. Okay? Let's first talk about the landscape of where we're at here in the United States versus the world. A lot of you may or may not be aware, but the United States spends the most money on prescription medication. Okay, the most money on prescription medication. Interesting here. We've got an alternate call number. Yeah. If they can't get through, I'm sorry, I can't stop the presentation for that. They're going to need to call in via Skype or another voice over IP solution. So we're number one in how much prescription medication, or money that we spend rather, on prescription medications. But look at this statistic here. According to the World Health Organization, in regards to longevity, the United States is in a five-way tie for 33rd place. We're just one in front of Cuba. Okay, so we spend the most amount of money on prescription drugs and medication, and yet our life expectancy is number 33rd in the world. So how's that working for you? And how's that working for us? Hopefully this kind of opens or enlightens you to the fact that even though we get a lot of brainwashing on these commercials and these prescription and medication commercials, that might not be the most advantageous for our health. If you take a look at this, some of these statistics here, look at this. Over the last 20 years, asthma has doubled. Learning disabilities has doubled. Diabetes has tripled. Almost everybody I know knows of someone who has diabetes, and that definitely wasn't the case 20-something years ago. Autism, that's increased from 200% to sometimes 7,000% in some states. And nearly half of Americans suffer from at least one chronic disease, which comprises 85% of our healthcare spending. And though the population has doubled since the 1940s, the number of diabetics has increased more than 20 times. According to Mike Levitt, who was the former secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services back in 2006, he said that until we begin to pursue prevention and staying healthy with the same rigor that we give treatment, our healthcare cost problems will persist. And of course, here's where ASEA comes in, because it not only assists your body in helping to heal itself from whatever that it has challenges with currently, but it also is going to help your body to prevent health challenges from happening in the first place. And how does it do that? Well, it does that with the science of redox signaling. But before I discuss what redox signaling is, let me first establish some credibility. Okay, redox signaling is one of the fastest growing areas of health science. There have been many books written, articles and journals published, like ARS, you see there in the lower right corner. And some universities have built entire centers on their campuses that are dedicated to the study of this incredible field. And what I want to do now is introduce you to our Science Advisory Council, because they have unsurpassed credibility. They have backgrounds from being an atomic medical physicist to MDs, PhDs. Even we have a board-certified naturopathic doctor. So from all different various backgrounds and modalities of health and well-being, you can see their excitement for this amazing technology and science and product called ASEA. As far as third-party validation goes, ASEA has been studied at prestigious institutions like the billion-dollar David H. Murdoch Research Institute there at Appalachian State. Matter of fact, David Murdoch gave $600 million of his own money to create this facility, and it's led by Dr. David C.Neiman, who's the author of 9 books, 200 publications, and over 300 articles, and he's the vice president of the American College of Sports Medicine. Now, at the research institution there, he did some various studies, and he not only showed the incredible results that humans receive in double-blind, crossover-controlled placebo studies. We always get that question, right? Has your product been studied using double-blind, crossover-controlled placebo studies? The answer is yes. But not only that, he also got amazing results on animal studies as well. And most research scientists will say that that's even more powerful. Because to give you a sort of example of that, mice don't just run 29% longer on a treadmill just because you give them a pep talk, right? So in other words, the animals remove out the psychology or the motivational part of a test. And even with humans, again, they're giving them placebos and half control group, and then they're swapping. But when you do give an animal something, and then you don't give them something, and they go 29% longer, I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal. There are lots of other studies have been done on ASEA as well. Some of them you see here on the screen. Again, studied by third-party entities, if you will, or third-party institutions. And again, they all were blown away by the results that ASEA generated on human performance. Now, ASEA is a true transformational technology. We're not talking about another vitamin, mineral, exotic berry juice, lotion, potion, thigh cream, skinny pill, okay, etc. A transformational technology means that it's something the world has never seen before, and that it has the power to transform an entire industry. And in our case, it's the industry of health and well-being. So let's take a look here real quick at some other transformational technologies. Okay, basically, let me illustrate the fact of having to wait for a television to warm up about 20 or 30 seconds. Are any of you old enough to remember those days when you turned on a TV set and you literally waited and waited, and finally the picture slowly and slowly came on? Okay, well, I'll never admit to knowing that. I've heard about that. but basically, in 1947, Bell Labs invented something called the transistor. And they put a request out for major companies to license this incredible technology. And a Japanese man, his name was Masaru Ibuka, Now, he didn't think he had a chance, but he flew all the way from Japan to give it a shot. And to his surprise, no one else showed up. I mean, some big name corporations, General Electric, for example, AT&T, these big companies were invited to come out. Nobody even showed up because, of course, they know everything, right? They knew everything, and if they didn't invent it, it couldn't be any good, right? Well, this gentleman, Masaru Ibuka, he went and licensed the technology, and the technology of this thing called the transistor. He went back to Japan, and the Sony Corporation was born. Now, this transistor didn't just allow TVs to warm up faster, okay? It allowed electronic devices to be miniaturized and made portable, like calculators, stereos, cassette players, telephones, etc. And it's the foundational technology to the microprocessor, which launched the whole computer industry. So again, really revolutionary stuff. Now, Alexander Fleming here, speaking of the industry of health and wellness, he accidentally left a petri dish of bacteria open, and a piece of mold fell into it. That's what that little white spot there you see on screen represents. Notice there's a little halo around that spot. It's because this bacteria didn't want to have anything to do with that mold. So he realized there's something in that mold that would deter bacteria. This, guys, was the discovery of penicillin, and another truly transformational technology. Penicillin was the very first usable form of antibiotics for the body, and of course, thousands of antibiotics exist now today in modern times. Truly transformational. Now, with regards to redox signaling. Okay. Let me make sure I'm on the right slide here. Okay. With regards to redox signaling, Dr. Britton Chance here, he laid the foundational research to the field of redox signaling by discovering that oxidants could be beneficial molecules, right, to the human body. I mean, prior to Dr. Chance, everything about antioxidants people thought of were negative, right? How many of you have heard the term antioxidants before? Right? Everything's oxidants are bad, 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 okay? Well, he said no. They actually have a role, and as long as they're in the proper balance. These three gentlemen established, actually won the Nobel Prize back in 1998 for their discoveries concerning nitric oxide as a signaling molecule in the cardiovascular system. So in other words, the technology behind ASEA is based on Nobel Prize-winning research. And ASEA truly is transformational technology that is destined to fuel some of the greatest advances in medical science this century. Okay, so let's talk about why you need to take ASEA. First off, what are these redox signaling molecules? Well, these redox signaling molecules are the same molecules that your body produces every second of every day in your body. Your body doesn't produce things like orange juice, grapeseed extract, or some exotic berry juice. As a matter of fact, these molecules are produced by all forms of life, including animals and plants. You know anyone who has a pet or a plant that they love? Okay, we've got a lot of great product experiences with pets and plants. Now, these molecules are like the cell phone towers of your cell. Okay, the problem is that as we age, we produce less and less of these cell phone towers. And imagine that if the city that you live in couldn't replace or repair these cell phone towers, what would happen? You would start dropping calls, and eventually all cell phones wouldn't work at all. What if you were a firefighter and you couldn't communicate? It would be disastrous. And it's the same thing in your body, whether it's your heart cell, your brain cell, your liver cell, your lung cell, skin cell, etc. If your cells have problems communicating, they will have problems repairing or healing themselves. And that's why ASEA, again, is truly transformational, because we're not talking about just treating a symptom here. We're talking about doing something that's fundamental to all processes in the human body. All right. Now, our cells are being damaged every day. Everything from things like sun damage, exercise, injury, the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, the water that we drink. And here's the big problem. As we age, we make less and less of these molecules, so our body becomes less and less efficient at repairing things. And that's why someone who's elderly, it takes them a lot longer to heal than when they were as a child. And that's why elderly people also get stiff and sore, or as young children, they can keep running around, exercising, playing all day, and the next morning you don't see a young kid wake up going, oh, I'm too stiff to go out and play today, Mom, right? I don't think I can do it. I'm so sore from yesterday. No, they go out right. They get up, pop out of bed, and they start running all over again, because their bodies have an abundance of these molecules. So as you age, until now with ASEA, there was no other way to keep these levels high. So what results should you expect when you take ASEA? We'll have an acronym, and that acronym is called PrEP, and the P in PrEP stands for prevent. It's basically going to help you slow down the aging process to keep you younger longer. It's truly anti-aging. So unless you want to age faster, you need to take ASEA, right? The R in ASEA stands for repair, the R-E there. And that's going to help your body to heal itself. Again, we cannot claim ASEA cures, treats, or prevents any specific illness or disease, but what it does do is it helps your body to help heal itself. And isn't that the best way for you to heal from anything, from any health challenge that you have? And it's also going to increase your body's performance. So let's say you're an athlete. It's going to dramatically increase your athletic performance. So unless you want to be at a competitive disadvantage from other athletes who are taking ASEA, you need to take ASEA. Very, very important. And ASEA is the world's first and only redox signaling supplement. And I hope by now that the light bulb is turning on about the potential for opportunity here. Now, ASEA has a patented three-step process, and it's they start by using the same saline components of water, which is H2O, and sodium chloride, NaCl, and which is the predominant solution in every single one of your cells. Okay? They break these components down into their individual elements of hydrogen, oxygen, sodium, and chloride, and then they are restructured to be exactly identical to these redox signaling that your body manufactures. Okay? And again, the same ones that your body is depleting over time as you age. So for the first time now, we can replenish and keep these levels high. As far as for product efficacy, let's talk about some of the amazing results that ASEA has generated in just a few short years. ASEA pre-launched in July of 2009, and since then, over $100 million of product sales has occurred. $25 million in 2011 alone. Then the next year it doubled to $50 million in 2012, and we project to do $100 million this year in 2013, doubling again. We have an approximate 1% product return rate, and that is so significant for a few reasons here. First off, the product doesn't taste good initially at first to most people, right? As your body starts to come into balance, it'll taste more and more like just plain water, but initially it doesn't. Okay, so a lot of people, if it wasn't working, would just send it back, right? Because the product has 100% 30-day money-back guarantee. So there's no risk to return it, get all your money back. So if it didn't work, again, people would just return it. And it isn't a low-cost item. It's not like something that's going to cost $10.99 or $19.95, right? It's not a low-cost item. So again, if it didn't work, people wouldn't be spending the money. And we have an 80+% reorder rate. That means at least that over 80% of the people who buy ASEA will continue to reorder it throughout the year. Extremely powerful statistics there. So here are some actual product experiences. Let me start first with the Road Bike Action bike racing team. They were very negative about nutritional supplements. They said, oh, those juices and those vitamins and stuff, we don't really notice anything different. We think it's just psychological. They said, we'll try it, and we'll tell. And if it doesn't do what it says, we're going to write a negative article on your product. We said, go ahead. Go for it. So they tried it, and they ended up writing a positive article entitled Super Water, ASEA Salt and Water Supercharger. A great testament. And they even researched it more to explain how it actually works and increases that performance. James Lawrence here set 2 Guinness Books of World Records now for half Ironman triathlons ran in a single year and full Ironman triathlons. Here's what he says. ASEA helps him to recover quickly so he can compete week in and week out. He's able to go faster for longer periods of time at a lower heart rate, and that's simply incredible. ASEA is the foundation of his supplement line and makes everything else he does even better. What you're seeing on screen is that you don't have to be a professional athlete. I mean, what we do know is that if you are an athlete and if they're getting those kind of results, imagine what ASEA would be able to do for you. Here's just a few of the literally thousands of positive experiences that people have experienced with ASEA. Now, we cannot claim, once again, I have to make this disclaimer, we cannot claim that ASEA cures, treats, or prevents any specific illness or disease. It's empowering your own body to help heal itself. That's how it works. And again, my personal opinion, that is the best way for you to heal and the best chance of you getting rid of a condition, not just treating it, okay, and not just relieving a symptom. All right. So picture's worth 1,000 words. Like I mentioned, ASEA is native to all cells in the body, whether it's a heart cell, lung cell, kidney cell, brain cell, even a skin cell. So you can not only drink the product, but every case of ASEA comes with a spray bottle, and you can spray it directly on your skin. This lady, her name's Phyllis, she had some severe bruising all around her body that were there for many months from a particular chemical therapy that she went through. Okay, we'll leave it at that. And she got introduced to ASEA, and within just a couple of weeks, after drinking and spraying ASEA on her skin, this is a picture of Phyllis's arm. Absolutely amazing. Another great picture, like I said before, not just humans, but also animals and plants, right, have redox signaling systems. This is a picture a friend of mine, Larry, in Southern California sent me. He went on vacation for about a week, and this is what he came back to. It's a basil plant. And that evening, he sprayed this plant with ASEA. The very next morning, when he went to look at it, he was blown away. I said, come on, Larry, and you can see the picture. I said, did you swap the plant out? Is that really the same plant? And he laughed. He said, of course, Paul, come on. I think this is a joke. He goes, look at the leaves there. You see some of the brown spots? He goes, that's the same plant. He goes, but it like popped back to life. Absolutely amazing. So to shift gears here now, we're in the home stretch with transformational with technology and breakthroughs bring massive opportunity. And that's what we're here to share with you tonight. Okay. The famous economist Paul Zane Pilsner, he was the advisor to Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush. Here's what he said. He said that in the next years to come, the most millionaires will come from the direct sales industry and home businesses, and the ones that have the highest probability will be marketing health and wellness products. And you can grab his books here, The Next Millionaires and The Wellness Revolution. These are, I think, top selling books. To get more clarification on that, why is ASEA really on the forefront and the best opportunity today in the health and wellness space, as well as in the direct sales and home business industry? Well, let's take a look. The last 30 years, everything's been about vitamins and minerals, right? Or antioxidants. Look at this. On screen, you're seeing a picture of a bottle of Cherry 7-Up with the word antioxidant underneath it. It's kind of funny. I don't really think there's anything antioxidant about Cherry 7-Up, but it's a good story. Maybe, I guess, if you put a picture of a cherry, which is antioxidant, maybe you can put the word antioxidant there. I don't know. But anyways, exotic juices. You know, we've seen all those different berry and fruit juices in the middle of the rainforest and all that stuff. And again, don't get me wrong, all the stuff's good stuff, but there's just thousands and thousands of products in this space. Now, the next wave, over the next 30 years, you're going to see the science of redox signaling molecules. And remember, today you have the opportunity to market the first and currently the only product in this space. So the question here is do you want to be at the end of the last wave, or do you want to be at the beginning of the next wave? Where do you think the opportunity is the greatest? And hopefully you're saying the beginning of the next wave. ASEA actually addresses $2 trillion industries. It's because when you look at health and wellness, you're referring to anti-aging, health-conscious, health challenge, and the space of prevention. But we also are able to affect sports and athletics, which is performance, endurance, recovery, and repair. Again, they project this to be a $1 trillion industry over the course of the next 5 years. So we are right in a great sweet spot, in a great space to be able to capitalize on that market as well. And our business model, again, the model that Paul Zane Pilsner himself said, this is the model of the future, and this is the model that's going to create the most millionaires. But let me just validate it with some comments and statements from some other very reputable and highly successful people, starting with Bill Gates here. Bill Gates says, if I would be given a chance to start all over again, I would choose network marketing. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says that the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for work. Robert actually wrote a book called Business of the 21st Century, which specifically refers to our industry of network marketing. And of course, the Donald here on David Letterman, love him or hate him. This is a great quote. On David Letterman, he said, David asked Donald, what would you do if you lost everything and had to start all over again from scratch? And without hesitation, Donald said, I would find a good network marketing company and get to work. And the audience started shouting and booing, or some of them were laughing, right? And Donald Trump said, that's why I'm sitting up here and you all are sitting down there. Okay? So again, those who do their research, Donald's even invested and purchased network marketing companies. If you do your research, you will come to the same conclusion as long as you get all the information. And again, that's why a lot of people, my personal opinion, don't create wealth and don't create massive success, because they keep doing what they're doing and they keep judging everything based on information only that they already know. Okay, but do the research and I think you'll come to the same conclusion, just as our founders here. Now, our founders have Fortune 500 leadership background and they have nothing but success in their track records. Our CEO, or rather now, Vertus Norton is our chairman of the board, and our vice chairman of the board, James Pack. Vertus was head of strategy for Kraft Foods, a $36 billion corporation. He's also worked with Philip Morris, General Foods, Freemark Industries, Hobart. He was the CEO of. So I mean, just everywhere he has been a success story, as well as Jim Pack. By the time Jim Pack was 43 years old, he was able to retire. He was a lobbyist in Washington, and he helped to deregulate the telecommunications industry, and he had his own telecommunications consulting firm. And again, highly successful leadership that we have. And after they did their research, about a year's worth of research, they chose this distribution model. All right. Our entire executive team has stellar credentials, a lot of them coming from multi-billion-dollar companies. Just looking at a couple here, Charles Funke, our executive vice president, was the former chairman, president, and CEO of Beneficial Beneficial Investment Services, which is a 120-year-old financial services institution. Bruce Call down there, he's the current mayor of Pleasant Grove, Utah. That's right, he's the current mayor of Pleasant Grove, Utah. Why would people want to get involved with this company? Why would people, put everything on the line here and their reputation and credentials online? Because they understand and they've done their research and they know where ASEA is heading. And from day one, that's where we are going. So it's just great to have such an incredible executive team. And we now are global, not only just in the United States, but ASEA is open in 14 other countries. You're seeing on screen here. That's part of our mission, to expand globally. And how do you know if the ASEA opportunity is right for you? Well, I got 4 questions for you. The first question is, do you like what you do for a living? If the answer is no, then you should consider ASEA, right? Next question, do you earn enough income for you and your family? Or could you use more income? Okay? So if you don't earn enough income, then you should consider ASEA. Third question is, do you have as much free time on your hands to do the things you enjoy, like maybe spending time with your family, golfing, skiing, etc.? Okay. If the answer is no, then you should consider ASEA. And then finally, do you know when the date you will be able to retire is? Would you like it to be sooner? Okay. Think about these questions. If you answered no to any of them, you should seriously consider taking a look at ASEA, and I encourage you to pay some close attention to the next section, which may provide you some clarification on how you ended up to where you're currently at, right? Because I can look you right in the eye and tell you, I totally love what I do, okay, which is helping people both health-wise and helping them with their financial, generating additional income to improve their financial situation. And I enjoy teaching people how to create time leverage and freedom, okay? It's phenomenal. Of course, I earn plenty of income. So let me explain, share with you one of my favorite quotes from Albert Einstein. He says that we can't solve our problems with the same thinking used when we created them. In other words, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And this is most people's biggest challenge. They continue to try to address problems with the same level of thinking that created those problems. And they stay stuck in the same place. So let's take a look at how income here is generated. There's basically 4 ways. All income is generated from one of these quadrants. The first one is your money. So if you've got a lot of money, right, you put it into some sort of investments and you leverage the interest or the profits that you get on that. You have other people's money. You're fortunate enough to be able to leverage other people's money and you get a percentage of that. That's another way to generate income. Okay. Then, of course, the most common one is your efforts, right? You do something and you get paid for doing that, and then the efforts of others, right? Someone else is working and maybe you're able to override that. Let's take a look, give you some examples here. If you were unemployed, where do you think you're getting your money from? You're getting your money from other people's efforts, right? Those people who are working and paying unemployment taxes, right? They may or may not be happy about that, but basically that's where you're getting your money from. What if you were an employee? Okay, then you're earning money on your own efforts, right? You're working X amount of hours and you're getting paid for that. If you're an employee with a 401k type of benefit plan, then you're not only getting paid for your efforts, but you're putting some money into a plan and hopefully getting some interest in, and that money is working for you. If you're a manager, you're getting money on your own efforts, right? You're probably having to put in more effort, as a matter of fact. But you're also going to be getting money on the efforts of others as well, right? Potentially, if you're getting maybe managing them, and getting a little piece of what override on their successes. If you're a shareholder, you invested into a company, and of course, there's other shareholders in the company, so you're going to leverage their money as well, and of course, the efforts of everyone who's working at that company. Not a lot of people have the ability to do that, right? Have that kind of money to be able to do. I know I didn't when I started my ASEA business. The CEO, if you're the CEO, you may have a little bit of money invested in your company. You may have, you'll have all the shareholders' money invested, and of course the efforts of everyone in the company. And then you're going to be putting in some effort yourself. So you've got a little bit of in every quadrant here, right? Let's take a look at network marketing, our industry, and what makes it so significantly different. First of all, you're going to put a little bit of your money in. It's like a CEO. Like if you're a CEO, you probably invest a little bit in. You got now, initially, look at this. You're going to have to put in a lot of effort. You have to work hard. You're going to have to find other people that want to align with you and that want to change their life as well and own their lives as well. So it's a venture out there. A lot of people, even though they may not be happy with what they're doing, they're not willing to make a change. That's why they'll continue to get what they're getting. Okay? Now, however, in this process, you'll start to find people that also will invest and start their business, and they'll start working as well. So in the beginning, you get a little bit of maybe overrides in some of these other people's money and efforts. But as you keep working, as long as you're consistent and persistent over time, more people start to join. And the people that start to join bring in other people. And so they're not only investing additional money, but other efforts. And over time, you'll start to see that your efforts can start to decrease. Now, not immediately. Okay, I'd wait. I'd project out 1 year or 2 years of working really, really hard. But you'll see that as you do that, now your focus shifts into helping other people achieve their dreams. Okay, your efforts go down, and then their efforts increase, and their profits and money and the income increases as well. So as you keep doing this, and you as time goes on, eventually you're doing a little bit of work, but generating a lot of revenue and being able to capitalize on that by helping other people to do that. And everyone has this ability in this model. Okay? So let me ask you a question. Which side is wealth generated or created on? The answer is on this side, right? With being able to leverage other people's money and other people's efforts. And you're probably saying, okay, that means your next question is probably going to be which side is the poor side, right? My money, my efforts. No. That's kind of assumed and understood. But interestingly enough, which side is the tax side? Who pays the most taxes? The left side. So the people that are using their own money and their own efforts are paying the most amount of taxes. Isn't that fascinating? You would think it would be the other way around, right? No. Mark Zuckerberg, first year when he was in Facebook, he paid himself almost $500,000 in salary. But he figured this out here. And last year, he paid himself $1, right? Because he realized he could pay less taxes. He keeps the stuff in the corporation, and he was able to do that. This is how the wealthy people not only make more, but keep more of their money. And this is another extremely huge benefit that the business of network marketing allows you to do as well. Okay, so the question is, where do you spend your time? All right, now ASEA has an incredible compensation plan that has 7 different commissions that provide you with everything from fast profits. So if you go to work today and you enroll someone, you get that money next week. In the process of as you start to build your group, you can generate residual income. And then, of course, over time, you can create true wealth. All of these commissions are paid every single week. It's the fastest pay plan I've ever been associated with. And ASEA is also going to provide you with websites that help you to market ASEA, provide you information on promotions and incentives, marketing media like brochures, newspapers, magazines, business cards, CDs, DVDs, etc. And ASEA also will provide you with a back office software platform that allows you not only to see sales activity, but to also track the growth of your associate organization. I mean, this is literally hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of software infrastructure that goes to work for you. Now, some of the top field leaders in the company have also contributed to the development of this new 3-peat duplication system. And literally, for the cost of a few cups of coffee per month, you can access a proven duplication platform that's based on $1.5 million worth of human behavior research across 750,000 participants worldwide. And this process is a simple process that's duplicable by anybody, okay? And here's how it works. The first step in the process is you're going to pique someone's interest by sending them a 3-minute peak video clip. A lot of you on this webinar got here because someone sent you this little video clip. Then you're going to present, in other words, share a full presentation with those people who are interested, who get back and say, wow, this is great. Matter of fact, they can click on a link and get a video, a 12-minute video overview of this information as well right away. Then you can point them, if they ask a question, you can point them to answers by pointing them to professionally produced tools like videos, documents, etc. Then once they're ready to go, you plug them in, get them started with their ASEA business and getting them their own 3-peat system account. And then the final step is for them to perform and go through the 10-step training process. There's 10 videos, and they can go step by step. They're about 15 to 20 minutes each, approximately in length. So they just go through 10 of them, and they can start inputting their own contacts in the system and go through this whole process. So it's, again, you can see it's like a machine. It's duplicable. And they can do it, and they can bring on people literally within days later and start the process of duplication, which is going to start their creation of residual income. Now, there's also great targeted landing pages for some of you out there who want to go after specific audiences like high-performance athletes or even doctors and medical professionals, right? And all the activities are tracked through a back office environment so that you know where everyone's at in this process. You know if someone gets stuck somewhere, and you can give them a call or shoot them an email and find out if there's anything that they need help with to help move them to the next part in the process. It's exactly what you need to be able to see so that to increase your success and keep you engaged in that follow-up process. And like I mentioned, there's a 10-step video training process to make sure that you're trained and educated on how to maximize the platform and of course, maximize your results and income. Okay, so as you can see, the opportunity right now is amazing with the power of the product and the technology of the business on the business building side. So let's talk a little bit more about this concept of leverage and how you can get from the left side of that quadrant over to the right side using this business model. First off, let me share a quote with you that changed my life. It's from a famous billionaire industrialist. His name is J. Paul Getty. He said he'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of his own efforts. He said the worst possible way to try to create wealth is to try to do it by yourself. And so I'm going to share with you this example of the penny that doubles to kind of illustrate the concept of leverage and exponential growth. And I will share with you how it applies to our business model. Let's say I gave you a fictitious offer today of giving you either a check for $50,000 right now, or I offered you a penny and I just doubled it each day. So tomorrow it would be 2 pennies. The day after that, 4 pennies, then 8 pennies, then 16, right? And I just do this for 28 days. What would you take? The $50,000 right now or the penny that doubles for only 28 days, less than a month? How would a penny become more than $50,000 in only 28 days, right? If that's what I said to myself. And when somebody offered me this, I said, you know, I would take the $50,000. So they go, okay, well, let's take a look at what happens, Paul. On day 7, if you would have took the penny, I would have only had to give you 64 cents. You're probably feeling pretty good about yourself. I said, yep. Day 14, it would be $81.92. So halfway into this, I still only had to give you, I was only giving you $81.92. And you'd probably feel real good about yourself at this point, right? How is that going to become greater than $50,000? Well, let's take a look. On day 28, if you would have taken the penny, I would have had to give you $1.3 million. Wow. $1.3 million. So a penny that just doubles each day becomes $1.3 million. I looked at him, I said, man, I can't believe that's unbelievable. I'm totally blown away. I never knew that. And he said, well, that's why you're not rich, Paul. I looked and I thought about it and I said, good point. That's a good point. So the light bulb went off at my head, over my head at that time. Sounded like somebody threw a light bulb and hit me at the head. No. It might as well have, though, right? Now, how does this apply to the ASEA business model? Well, ASEA is not going to give you a penny and double it each day for a month. Sorry for that bad news. However, okay, you could put some elbow grease into this, and you can follow the business mantra, which really follows the same concept, and that is to teach to reach to, and duplicate. Okay? So here's my question. Out of everybody that you know, do you think you can find just 2 people who could benefit from the product and the technology of redox signaling, like to live longer and be younger, reduce the chances of getting sick and ill, and if they're an athlete, increase their performance 3 to 4 and even beyond times what they currently have? Okay. And also, could these people use more income, more money, right? Do you know 2 people? And I'm sure everyone's like looking at me or thinking like, yeah, of course, Paul. I know at least 2 people out of everybody I know, right? And would it be a fair request to give you 30 days to find just those 2 people? Is that a fair amount of time? I'm sure you're saying, yes, Paul, within 1 month out of everybody I know, I could find 2 people. Okay. The only other request I have is that everyone just uses 1 case of ASEA each month for yourself, which is what you're going to do anyway, right? These are the people that the reason why you're contacting these people, because they want to use the product, so you just need to find 2. And they're just using 1 case. You don't have any, so in other words, no one has a single customer. This is just based on your own, everyone using 1 case each month for themselves. Let's take a look at what happens. In the first month, you find your 2 people, okay? And that means you have a total of 2. In the next month, if those 2 people found their 2 people, you'd have a total of 4 come in your second month. And then now if you add the 2 people that came in your first month, you'd have 6 people in your group. In the third month, if those 4 people that came in your second month each found 2, 8 people would come in. You now would have a total of 14. Okay. By the way, if everyone at this point, if it just stopped and everyone just used 1 case of ASEA each month, ASEA would send you a check for $70, or rather you would earn a total of $70 every single month. You're not ready to retire yet, right? But again, you only found 2 people, and everyone only found just 2 people. And this is what your potential is after just a few months. Let me push down a few more months. Month 6, 64 new people come into your group. You now have 126 total. And you'd be generating $630 of passive monthly residual income each month. Now this is getting significant. This is a really nice car payment. it's even a rent or a mortgage payment in certain parts of this country, right? So now we're talking about someone may be able to change their life. If I push down a few more months, 512 new people come in. Your ninth month alone, you'd have a total of 1,022 total, generating you $5,110 a month. A month. Remember, you only found 2 people. Do you realize how much money you'd have to put in the bank at even 5% interest to get $5,000 a month coming into your bank account every month? You'd have to put in $1.2 million in the bank. And no bank's going to give you 5% interest, so more than likely you'd probably have to put in $3 or $4 million into the bank just to have $5,000 a month coming in every month. And if you were like me when I first started ASEA, I didn't have an extra $1 million laying around to generate that kind of monthly residual income, right? But I did know 2 people. Matter of fact, I said, I know way more than 2 people. And I made it a point to go find more and more and more. Because you don't have to just stop at 2. But this example here is just based on only 2. So if I push down to month 12, after just 1 year, month 12 alone, 4,096 people would be coming into your organization. You now would have 8,090 total, generating you $40,000 a month in passive monthly residual income. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I've never seen it happen in this perfect manner, okay? Some people find their 2, true. Some people actually find 10, 20, 50. I know I have people in my organization who have personally enrolled over 100 people, all right? But the reality is a lot of people find 0. Why is that? Huh? Well, it's the same reason why we have an obesity problem in our country. It's not for a lack of knowledge, right? People know if they eat right. You can go on the internet for free and find out how to eat properly, and you find out great exercise routines as well. And if you eat right and exercise, you're going to lose weight. You won't be obese. But why do we have such an obesity epidemic? It's people are lazy. People can't stick with things. They're not consistent. They don't follow up. And therefore, they don't get results. Or if they do, it's temporary. So let's just look at this example. Now, the ones who work out and they do it over time, and even if some of them every once in a while splurge and eat something they like or drink something they shouldn't, right? As long as they're consistently doing something, you'll say, oh, that person looks like they're in good shape. They're in good shape. And compared to the obese people, they're in phenomenal shape, right? Just like here. Let's say this model failed to 90%. So you didn't have 40,000, and 90% of this did not come to fruition. If this failed 90%, that's still $4,000 a month of passive monthly residual income. My question to you is, would it have still been worth your time? $4,000 a month, guys. That's the equivalent of putting millions of dollars in the bank and collecting interest on today's interest rates. I would venture to say that everyone here would say, yes, Paul, that would have been worth a year invested of my time. What if it took you 2 years? What if it took you 3 years? You know, most people will work 30 to 40 years and not have a retirement of $4,000 a month. Matter of fact, 95 people out of 100 at age 65 are either dead, no longer with us, or they're dead broke, meaning that they have to continue to work just to make ends meet. So again, I would venture to say that if you engaged in this business, you worked at it consistently over time, you didn't quit here, you didn't quit here, you just keep pushing down, right? That you would be as excited as I am about this business model, okay? And realize how powerful it is and realize how it could change your life. Okay, in closing here, why is right now the optimal time to get involved with ASEA? Well, let's take a look. When ASEA was first starting, that's the foundation phase of the business development. That's when they were getting all the documentation for the product and doing the mechanism of action document, looking for deciding which distribution channel they were going to go with. Okay, but once they opened their doors and started enrolling associates, they entered what's called the concentration phase of the business model. Okay, and this is the phase that we're currently in. The next phase is called momentum, and that's when the company it goes from small to big in a short period of time. The next phase is called stability, when the company will kind of level out. And if the company expands into additional markets, if they introduce new products and other things, it can go vertical again, okay? And other legacy companies have been able to do this multiple times. But the best time to get involved is right here, what's referred to as critical mass, okay? And it's about 10 months before the company goes into momentum or 10 months into the momentum phase. This is the best time to get involved because it's where you can make the most amount of money in the shortest period of time. Why do I bring this up? Because ASEA is right about here, okay? Right about optimal timing to get involved just before we go into that vertical growth mode. Here's the actual data. So if you look here on this chart, you can see when ASEA pre-launched back in July of 2009. You could see the sales graph as it continues to go up and up. Notice in March of 10, we were already profitable. We had the official launch there in September of 10, and then our second convention in July of, July or September of 11, and then in the European launch there in 12, our last convention at the end of 12 there in Orlando. ASEA has been profitable every single month since April of 2010, and all the positive cash flows are being reinvested back into the business to pursue and support growth, and ASEA has absolutely no debt. In less than 1 year, they were able to be debt-free. Again, this is really a statement about our rather demonstration of the competency of our executive team and all of their success track records. This is what they do, guys. In other words, at a loss for words because it's so overwhelming to me to be affiliated with a company that has a strategic plan for not only the product line, but for growth of the business as well. And here is the actual projections of what the next few years are going to hold for us. Again, this isn't somebody just playing with charts and numbers. This is a business strategist that did strategy for multi-billion-dollar corporations, so they know and plus or minus a certain percentage of where we're headed. Michael Jordan said he could accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but that he cannot accept not trying. And for you hockey fans out there, go Bruins. The great one, Wayne Gretzky, said that you miss 100% of the shots you never take. Anybody recognize these two gentlemen? Well, you may not recognize the gentleman on the right. But the gentleman on the left, his name is Steve Jobs. The gentleman on the right, his name is John Sculley. John Sculley was the former president of Pepsi-Cola. And when Apple was just about 4 years old, so Apple was just around the time or rather our age right now at ASEA, interestingly enough, Steve Jobs tried to recruit John Sculley to be his president of Apple Computers. And John showed up to the interview, and he's like, what am I doing here at a company who's only 4 years old, started out in this guy's garage, okay? What am I doing? Why would I want to participate here? And this is what Steve Jobs said to him. Steve Jobs said, do you want to sell sugared water for the rest of your life, John? Or do you want to come with me and change the world? John at that point gulped. And in his head, he thought, man, I didn't want to wonder for the rest of my life what I would have missed. So my question to everyone out there this evening is, in a few years from now, when ASEA becomes a household name, right, and redox signaling is used just as the word antioxidants is used today, and if you decide not to participate, are you going to wonder what you would have missed, what could have been? Or are you going to be one of those who decide to come with us and change the world with the ability to extend someone's life, possibly save someone's life, or improve someone's life, but definitely the potential to change someone's life? Doing what you're doing right now, do you have that potential to actually change someone's life? Now, the decision point right now is this. You can either do nothing, and that's fine, totally up to you. Your health and life and financial situation will continue to remain the same. So if you're completely satisfied with that, I want to thank you for your time and attention this evening. Okay, thank you for spending it. We can't get back this time, and we appreciate that. Hopefully, the information some of the information that you saw this evening was enlightening and beneficial for you. Now, the second thing that you can do is you can become a customer. Okay? Just become a customer, and you can receive all the amazing health benefits of ASEA just for yourself and for your own personal benefit. Or third, you could become an associate with us, and you can not only benefit from this amazing product for your own health benefits, but you can help others with this amazing technology, and you can have the potential to build an incredible income stream in the process. And I truly hope you decide to join us on our journey, and I look forward to welcoming you aboard. Please get back with the person who invited you on this webinar, and have a fantastic evening. Good night, everyone, and thanks again for your time and attention this evening. Take care.